into the national championship game, Ryan Day was honest in his assessment of how Ohio State was able to overcome Texas and really proven that I kind of know what's going to happen here. And I've been right about this. And we need to talk about why it's not just I'm right about, well, how they play on the field, but got to be right about Ryan Day. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching the #1 college football show, welcome. Thank you for joining us here. Hit that subscribe button. It costs you absolutely nothing. Ring the bell if you don't want to miss any of the segments that we upload here. Talking about college football, we keep it topical. We keep it going. Sometimes I get in depth. Sometimes I go on a rant. It's just kind of the nature of a sports talk show like this one. I really want to talk about what Ryan Day had to say at his availability on Sunday when we got just 9 days before we're going to play for a national championship, and Ohio State's going to play Notre Dame. So both of these programs have sustained injuries to their offensive line. Ohio State has had time to learn how to deal with that, playing 3 guards to one side of the line of scrimmage, still been able to run the football and throw the football downfield. I mean, Will Howard has been playing outstanding. He came into the game against Texas, averaged 315 yards, had ridiculous numbers against Tennessee, better numbers against Oregon, and then went for 289 and change against Texas. But the thing that I think many Ohio State fans were upset about, and the thing that I said was probably going to get in their way, is themselves, right? This feels like the team that can beat anybody that they play at any time, except they'll get in their own way more often than not. And you saw that against Texas with the self-inflicted wounds, as Ryan Day kept referring to them. And they were, right? They were big penalties. They were stupid penalties. There's Travion Henderson hitting people after the play, 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct. Had to punt on that particular series. But Day said that there were 5 drives that got away from them because of penalties and stupid mistakes. And the game was much tighter, and they needed to come back. They needed to try to win it after getting it back to 14 up late. Probably put this game away if you just finish the drives and you play clean football. But what I have said about Ohio State and what I've said about all of these teams is the way to look at these is to say which one of these programs, which one of these football teams can make the most mistakes and still win the game, because there will be mistakes. That's part of it, right? Somebody is going to miss an assignment. Somebody is going to drop a pass that they should catch. Somebody's going to do something stupid and punch the other player in the helmet, which I've always kind of thought was ridiculous because those are your hands and that's a helmet. I think when you look at Ohio State, you see game wreckers everywhere. You see guys that can break open the game. Travion Henderson being one of them. Picks up the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, but also takes 175 yards to the house. Carnell Tate, who drops what would be a sure TD. It's fine. We got Quinshon Judkins, who can run through 2-3 people to get into the end zone. Will Howard on 4th and gotta have it. We're going to run QB power, and he's going to go to the end zone if he doesn't have the Daniel Jones ghost just trip him. All down the line, right? Jack Sawyer, going to get after it. Jack Sawyer is going to make this an interesting game for you on that offensive line if you let him, but I wonder how much they're going to slide protection to him because that's JT Tuimoloau out there. You just got so many guys over there that can make this game one that explodes for Ohio State, even if it doesn't feel like it's going for them, right? I think in terms of, making plays, explosives are going to be with that team. Now, for Notre Dame, you got to play damn near flawless football. And you got to play damn near flawless football, playing the kind of football that is, frankly, given Ohio State problems in the past. Ball control. Don't give them the ball back. Time of possession needs to be on your side. Run the ball. You need to go for about 200, right? That's for starters. You need to be able to push people off the offensive line. Jeremiah Love's got to be able to get loose. Jadarian Price got to be able to get loose. And when Riley Leonard has to throw the football, he has to connect. Doesn't have to throw for a ton of yards, but that's also if the defense is playing really well. And defense can play really well if you're playing complementary football and run the football well. I tend to think of it in those ways. Now, as we continue to get closer to this and we talk more and more about the matchups, of course, I'm going to be very interested in what Howard Cross can do against this offensive line because he's really, really good. But, I mean, you'll double him, and then you'll take your chances at the second level with guys like Jack Kaiser and Xavier Watts. But Ryan Day also needs to avoid the self-inflicted wounds. Like, that's just it, man. The stakes could not be higher. This is an honor run for them, for those of y'all that play Baldur's Gate. You don't get to make any more mistakes. And losing this game would be a tremendous blow for him and for Ohio State. It wouldn't be the consolation that I think it would be for Notre Dame to lose this football game. Not saying Notre Dame doesn't want to. They desperately want to win a national championship for the first time since 1988. But given the pressure on Ryan Day this season and given the money that they've shelled out and seen the teams that, frankly, have been moved out of their way or they've moved out of their way, Oregon being the top of that heap, but Georgia, I felt like might have been able to give them a game. Notre Dame took them out, right? We keep doing this. This has got to be a great display for you. I mean, the spread is ridiculous. Like, I think it's down to 8.5 now, but it's still going to be more than a touchdown, I think, by the time we start this game. That's a tremendous amount of points in a national championship game. You expect it to be 1.5, 1, maybe 3 tops, right? But that it's a touchdown plus is really indicative of what people think of this team. And this, again, is an Ohio State team that beat Texas with Jeremiah Smith catching just 1 pass for 3 yards. Jeremiah Smith gets loose against that Notre Dame secondary. Good luck, because Emeka Egbuka and Carnell Tate are also going to get loose. And then G. Scott's going to actually be able to make plays after the catch. Who knows what Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson might be able to do. Also, I'm going to add to this, Jeremiah Love has been injured this year, right? Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson have mostly been able to stay healthy, and a big reason as to why they've been able to run the ball with success here late is that. But I also think, if you're Ryan Day, don't tempt that, right? Go to the well. The well is 4. The well is 2, right? Get those guys the football. Throw the ball downfield, right? Don't talk yourself out of what is a great play call because you had something to prove. Like, the only way that I think this could get it further into Ohio State's head is if Lou Holtz shows up to start talking noise or is at the coin flip or whatever to talk about how soft this team is. Because I think that really did get to them. And the one thing you can't do at Ohio State is be soft. They're just not going to allow it. You're going to be as hard as a brick. I mean, you're going to have to, because that's how that group of people is made. I mean, I know it because I'm from a place like that. We care about running the football. We care about playing defense. We care more about, do you have a jaw? Are you going to fight back? Do you know how to dig this ditch? Can you dig yourself out? One of the things that really upset me about how Jackson Arnold was playing in his first year to start at Oklahoma is he looked scared back there. And I can't do scared. I can coach out mistakes, right? We can all coach out mistakes. We would much rather you go hard and need to be reeled back in. So it'd be one thing if Travion Henderson was scared to go hit people, but no, just reel it back in. After the play is done, the violence ends. Come back, we'll snap the ball and be violent again, right? There's discipline that you got to play with here, and it's a privilege to go hit other people. I try to tell that to the kids all the time. Look, you're playing a sport where we have decided it's cool for you to go beat the living shit out of beat the living stuff out of another person. Like, it's why I started boxing. It's like, hey, you want to go fight? All right, let's go fight. And when people talk about getting into a fist fight, they're talking about these kinds of games. And Notre Dame is a team that wants to get into a fist fight. Marcus Freeman said as much. Look, he wants to be physical. I think he stopped short at being physical because behind that phrase is violent. Behind that phrase is aggressive. Behind that phrase is it's going to hurt to go and make some of these plays, to make some of these tackles, to shed some of these blocks to get to the back. It's gonna. Now, are you willing to make that sacrifice? Are you willing to go get it? Because, well, frankly, Marcus Freeman was when he's at Ohio State, and he's been that guy since he got to Notre Dame. I think Ohio State is going to match that physicality, and then it's about talent. It's about Jimmys and Joes. And you know, like I know, the best roster in college football is at Ohio State. The best roster in college football still playing is still at Ohio State. So self-inflicted wounds. Ryan Day, don't get drawn into a war in the trenches. Take top off. Take top off, give it a lead, and then tell Jim Knowles, all right, send them. Send them. Go get it.